You're watching a production of South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
In the neighboring community of Custer, students learn important skills for life in a different way. It's in a program called Elders' Wisdom Children's Song. Now, they don't rely on books for their history and writing lessons. They interview 4 elders from the community, and together they create a multidisciplined presentation. But the best part is, not just the children come away feeling enriched.
And tonight, our students want to share with you the fruits of their labor.
Well, I thought that it was really a special deal. Everybody didn't get a chance to be in that program. Of course, I realize that I'm sort of notorious.
Oh, I was extremely honored. I've attended all of the other 3 Elder Wisdom's children's songs, and I was so impressed with the program. And so I was surprised and very grateful to be asked to be a part of it.
Students in Custer aren't the first to honor elders with a musical performance. Though Superintendent Hank Friedel explains, the process is valuable for everyone.
In 1999, I was principal at East Elementary in Spearfish, and I met Larry Long. He's a singer-songwriter, community activist out of Minneapolis. He goes around to communities and works on reconciliation between different groups and communities, and he does that through elders in the community working with children to really find out how we're all alike. In the fall of that year, then he visited our school, worked with 4 classrooms, and it was just so very successful. I'm also a member of a group called the Black Hills Songwriters. Typically, I take on a class and then 3 other songwriters from the area then work with the kids. When I moved to Custer, I brought the idea to the 4th and 5th grades, and they were excited about it, and so we've continued. Now this is our 3rd year.
Part of it's a writing project, part of it I would say is a history project. In preparation, the kids really don't know much about the person ahead of time, but I have them come up with, generate a list of questions that they would like to ask him.
Did you like school?
So I had problems in high school. I didn't want to study. I made very poor grades. When Japan attacked the United States in 1941, I could hardly wait until I got old enough to join the Navy. And that was in 1944. I quit high school and went into the Navy. And you asked, well, how did you go to college if you didn't finish high school? When I was old enough to realize I'd made a mistake, I got a GED. It's one of the great things that is available to people such as myself who quit school for whatever reason.
The students actually produce 2 things out of this. One is the song that they write with the songwriter. The other part is a narrative of the elder's life, and kind of gives more of the chronology and the things that they did.
He worked hard. When his family moved to the country, he milked 40 cows a day. He said people were afraid to shake his hands because of his strong grip.
It's one of the most powerful things I do every year, simply because students get into the lives of an elderly person. And because the song is written in first person, something happens. And I don't know what it is, I don't know how it happens, but they live the life of that person when they're singing the song.
It's interesting that each one of the people that my classes in the 3 years have interviewed has done amazing things in very different ways and have come from big struggles in their life and overcome that. And so I think that's one of the biggest things the kids learn, and I hope will always remember that they can do a lot even if their life is hard right now.
I have milked 40 cows, I still have that handshake. Life was hard, never thought I'd go to college someday. Dreams are
We're looking for some connection here. Kids are beginning to understand that there's this continuity to life, that life doesn't end in school.
I'm in Mrs. Anderson's class, and I interviewed Dorothy Delicate. She said that y'all have to always keep learning, because otherwise, later in life, you're going to regret it.
And I just loved reading. My dog and I would take a walk or hike in the woods. I would take along lunch, a book, and when I was a little older, a camera.
My class is Mrs. Scraggs, and I interviewed Jan Kahn. I thought it was really interesting that she was the first woman to climb Devil's Tower and the first woman to climb it without a man with her. As a child, I climbed trees and hung by my knees, things that a girl shouldn't do. I had the good fortune to be the first woman to free climb Devil's Tower. A friend and I were the first women to climb it without the aid of manpower.
Custer's blessed because we have a fairly large senior population, and so we've been able to tap into it. It's amazing, too, that even in a small community, there are people that you don't know, and this really helps us get to know who our neighbors are.
When and where were you born, and tell us about your family?
Well, I was raised in Custer County and graduated from Custer High School.
Chuck became a pilot of a B-24 and named it Custer's Last Stand. The plane also had a picture of Custer's on each side.
Did you do anything else with the government, ever?
Not of any consequence.
Not of any consequence.
I've been a father, a pilot, and an engineer. I've been a husband, a veteran, and a volunteer. Elected to office, a distinguished career. I've served, I've served. I'm Chuck Mateer.
But I'm just totally amazed that they could learn all of this in less than a month and put it together and learn it and perform it so well. I was so impressed.
The students are not hearing the old stories and where wisdom is passed down.
You know, they brag about getting rid of segregation, but they get more and more segregated with ages. You don't find a family that has a grandparent living there, helping the kids with their homework and that sort of thing. And I think that's a very important thing that this does, is give them a little contact with somebody who grew up before there was TV and that sort of thing.
I wish more people had an opportunity to have this experience.
Taught me that even at the fourth grade level, the kids have a lot to give to all of us.
And you know, the biggest thing I learned is how respectful and wonderful they were. I have great faith in the generation coming up, knowing that there's wonderful people like these children growing up.
Take a walk